Hey guys, I just want to make a real quick video on a couple of new Briggs & Stratton tools I picked up. And these are jet tools, and for the longest time I've always used screwdrivers. A lot of times they'll strip out, and these are specially designed to help keep that from happening, and but it's just the right size to fit down in there to get a hold of the jet without having to worry about the width of the screwdriver causing a problem. And so there's the two part numbers for them. And the big one here, which is this one here, is probably the main one you'll use. You can see the difference there. And if you wonder what exactly you'd use this for, like after you remove the adjustment screw here to get the emulsion tube out, you would ordinarily be using a screwdriver. And this don't have nearly as much play in it as a screwdriver would. This is an updraft carburetor off a 8 horsepower that I bought. This is the original carburetor that I showed in the other video on it. So that's what you'd use to remove this. And some of that was already on there, but it helps prevent any further damage to it. Just makes things a lot easier. Something I should have bought years ago when I was first getting into small engine repair. So you just run that all the way in there. You don't have to worry about nothing getting in the way or anything. Now, these aren't cheap, and if I wasn't using them all the time, I wouldn't have bought them. But I got these off eBay, and the only reason they cost so much is because they're genuine Briggs & Stratton, but that's all I could find. But to set two of these, both of these came together, it was $24 for that. A little overpriced. You could take a regular screwdriver and modify it to make it work if you wanted to, but I just wanted to get the actual thing. And yeah, it's just something I wanted to share with you because it'll make things a lot easier for you. Okay, so the other tool I was going to talk about real briefly, I'm not going to demonstrate it. I've been wanting to get one of these forever. It's a flywheel removal tool. It's again a genuine Briggs & Stratton. Come with the bolts come with it. There's the numbers off of it. Well, if you want to get you one, you know what to find. I said I wasn't going to demonstrate it. I just want to give you an idea of how it will be used. So let me set this up and we'll look at it. Now this particular puller is designed for your bigger flywheel. This is off like a 12 horsepower single cylinder or 17.5 horsepower overhead valve. Basically all your bigger riding lawnmower engines. The V-twin engine should be the same, and your opposed twins are the same too. This would have the plastic fins on that, but that don't matter. You always have the two holes here, and if for some reason they're not threaded, you can always thread them. They come with two different types of bolts, and there is a double nut there. You can see on the bottom. Now you want to leave your bolt that holds your flywheel in there, but loosen it or the nut, and this will rest on top of it. And then once you get everything ran down to where it touches it, you start turning this nut and this nut back and forth, putting even pressure on it, and eventually it's going to pop off. It's a lot easier than fighting with it, and you don't want to use an impact or nothing on it. It's not made for that. But I can't remember exactly what I paid for this, but it wasn't too much. I think if I remember right, it was less than $20 for it. But just one of them things. I hadn't even used it yet, and I've had it for a couple months. But it's just something else that's nice to have. You don't always need it, but when you do, it's nice to have it. These silver bolts are standard, and these are metric. And there are some of these that are universal, with either slots or different size, different hole spacings on there. And there are different types too. This is not a Briggs & Stratton brand one, but it is a puller for flywheels. It's just a different type, and you see it's a different spacing. This would be for a smaller engine, and just a different type of it. And I'm not exactly sure which one this fits, but it is handy. And a lot of the small ones you can't even use a puller on there, and you have to use the pry bar and a hammer method. But for the big ones, this is a lifesaver. But alright, so I'm going to add these three tools on this video too. They don't look like much, and these all three do something very simple. Now, first of all, this one probably looks the most familiar for pulling spark plugs. And this one's unique because it's got the oil drain plug on there, so you can use that for all that. It's pretty simple, really. It's kind of the opposite of this other tool I got for the recess type drain plug. These are both 3/8. Instead of buying this, just use a 3/8 ratchet. Same thing, easier. And the ratchet would be stronger too. You see, this has been twisted before. These came from MFG Supply. Since Tulsa Engine Warehouse went out of business, I started dealing with MFGsupply.com. Okay, so the next one we're going to talk about isn't much at all. It's got a very specific purpose for working on older, small engines. This is a tool for condenser. When you buy a set of pointy condenser, you always get this little plastic tool with it, and it's for compressing that spring. Like that, and you insert the wire through there, let off one, it will clamp the wire on there. Well, to make things easier, they came out with this tool. Get it on there just like that. Compress that spring for you. See there? It's real simple. You could almost take a cheap pair of pliers and make this if you wanted to, but it only costs like $3, so I figured, might as well add it to my collection of unique tools, and sometimes you need something like that. Especially if you're trying to put 2 wires in there. Like you got your wire coming from the coil, and you want to add a shut-off wire to it. It's hard to get 2 wires in there with that little plastic piece. So with this, you got more, you can take your time more on this. You can squeeze it, for several minutes. That little spring's actually got quite a bit of tension on it, really, to be so small. And the third tool is a crankshaft wrench. And you got it appears to be 2 ways you can use it. If you got a keyway in it, this would be for that. Or if you don't have a keyway, this will simulate a keyway. Which to me, it's kind of pointless to have that set up like that. It'd been better just to have that notch. And if you're wondering what it's for, I suppose you're working on this engine here. This is a little 5-horse Briggs, and you need to turn the engine over. And you don't have a flywheel, so you can't just reach over and grab it. And sometimes, your engine can be stiff. And if you put vice grips on the crankshaft somewhere, you're going to gnar it up, and it's, you're going to cause damage to it. That's where this tool comes in. You just put it on there, and you can turn that engine over anywhere you want with ease. And this should work on just about any engine that holds the flywheel on with the flywheel key. Like as you can see, it'll work on a bigger engine than that. And it's just one of them things. It's super simple, and again, if you had a few tools, you can make one of these. But there again, it didn't cost very much, so you save some time and just buy it. Might end up welding that on there like that. I just think that's neat. Something so simple, you just, you never think about it really, until you see it like that. Yeah, I just want to make a video talking about all this. So if you got any questions or comments, feel free to leave a comment below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So we'll catch you later. Thanks for watching.